Ellarigu Namaskara. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome back to the Little Things. In my previous video about IELTS, I gave you all a brief overview about IELTS which covered most of the general questions which one could have about IELTS. I wanted to share a couple of more things but I almost forgot to include in that video. So let me quickly tell those things to you first. So what I wanted to share with you all is that there are no prerequisites when it comes to IELTS. The only thing being your age should be 16 years or more. Other than that, there is no restriction. Like there is no requirement for you to have completed your education to a certain level, or there is no restriction on how many times you can take up IELTS or at what frequency. I know nobody would, but still if you are interested to take IELTS 4 times in a month, then still you can take it. Nobody is gonna stop you from doing that. And there's one last thing, and that is if you're a couple who is interested in any of the PR programs, then just like how you get your ECA verified individually, likewise even for IELTS, both of you will have to take up this test. Only by doing so, you will be getting points for your English proficiency, which will be added to your total CRS score. Before diving into today's video, let me quickly share with you all a great news for which most of us were waiting for a very long time now. As I had told you in my previous video that the computer-based IELTS test slots should be available soon. Rightly so, IDP India has given out test slots which are available to be booked both for computer as well as paper-based test. I had also mentioned that once the slots are available, they'll be booked soon, and that's what is happening. Most of the slots are getting booked as soon as possible. So if you have already prepared for IELTS, then I would say don't waste any more time. Go ahead and book the earliest date possible, whichever best suits you, and all the very best for that. Now finally, let's get started with today's video, and it is going to be all about computer and paper based IELTS test format, because when you're about to book your test slots, the question which you will have is either to go for computer based or paper based test. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you all the pros and cons, or similarities and differences, and the important criteria which you should consider before deciding which one to go for. So let's get started. In the first half of the video, I'll be talking about the general things like venue, fee, result, etc. And in the later part of this video, I will speak specifically about the 4 test components of IELTS, which is writing, reading, listening and speaking. Let's talk about the fee first. Now, if you ask me whether there will be any difference or concession or discount if you choose computer or paper based test over the other, then my answer would be sadly no. No matter which test format you choose, the test fee is fixed, and after the latest fee revision in April 2020, it will cost you a total of 14,000 INR in order to take up either academic or general module of IELTS test. Next comes the test frequency. Now, in case of paper-based tests, these tests are conducted at a lower frequency, and there will be almost 4 academic and 2 GT modules available every month. So a quick tip over here would be, like, if you are interested in paper-based tests, it would be better if you book your test slots in advance, which may be like a couple of weeks or even a month before your actual test date. However, when it comes to computer-based tests, this test is conducted at a higher frequency, up to 7 days a week and 3 times a day depending upon the demand. So in this case, it would be much easier to get test slots, and maybe you can book this within a week or even few days before your test. And this is applicable under normal circumstances, unlike the situation which we are in of this COVID. Speaking of test venue or location, paper-based tests are conducted in large halls or auditoriums or even in hotels. However, in case of computer-based tests, these are conducted in comparatively smaller rooms or chambers, which can accommodate a limited number of people. That brings us to our next point. Since paper-based tests are conducted in such huge spaces, the number of people taking tests at once will be more. In my case, when I took the paper-based test, there were at least 500 people who were taking paper-based tests alongside me. So my suggestion in this case would be, please try to reach the venue early, because it will take quite some time for the organizers to verify everyone and then to conduct the test. In case of computer-based tests, as I have told you that these are conducted in smaller spaces, as a result there will be hardly 20 to 25 people who would be taking tests along with you. As a result, it will be less crowded and there will be less confusion and better organization. Let's talk about the study material now. Now, if you ask me whether they will provide us with any of the study material in order to practice for the test, then yes. When I booked my paper-based test, within a week's time, I received a courier which contained a booklet, and this booklet had almost 4 sample practice tests, each for writing, listening, reading and speaking, along with an audio CD. This helped me in practicing well for my test. Now when it comes to computer-based tests, again they provide you with free sample tests as well as tutorials so that you can get used to the exam format very well. Another quick thing which I would like to tell here is that, of course, take your time to prepare well for the test. However, please do take some time to understand the format itself and have no doubts about it. This is more so relevant in case of computer-based tests, where it becomes really important for you to know the basic things like how to navigate between pages, how to highlight, copy or paste, basically to understand how to handle a system. I'm saying this to you because during the exam, nobody will entertain you with such doubts. So please take some time to understand these things. Next thing that I would like to talk about is the timer, because like most of the other exams, even IELTS is a time-based exam. Please note that except for the passport, which is used as an ID proof, you are not supposed to carry anything else along with you inside the test center. Only in case of paper-based test, you can carry pencil or pen along with you. So how will you keep track of time? In case of paper-based test, there will be a wall clock and also at regular intervals, the organizers will be announcing the time. However, in case of computer-based test, this is made much simpler. There will be a timer right on your monitor screen, so it would be a less thing to worry about. Now let's look at the time taken to publish your results. When it comes to the paper-based test, they take around 13 working days to publish your results. However, in case of computer-based test, this time is much shorter and they take just 5 days to provide you with your results. So if you are someone who's on a time constraint and want to give your IELTS test and also get the result as soon as possible, then computer-based test is the one for you. Now let's talk about the 4 test components and also the most important criteria which can help you decide which test to go for. First, let's talk about writing. So if you ask me what do I suggest, whether to go for computer-based or paper-based test formats, then I would ask you questions like, are you comfortable with writing or typing? Do you think whether you have a clean and legible handwriting, and do you have slow typing speed, or are you someone who might not have a great handwriting but your typing skills and speed is awesome? So based on this, you can actually decide whether to go for paper-based or computer-based format. If you're comfortable with writing, then go for paper-based format, or if you're comfortable with handling a system and you have pretty good typing speed, then go for the computer-based format. I think this one factor itself is more than enough for you to decide. But it's good to be aware of all the other factors as well and get an overall picture of this thing. So let's quickly have a look at these things as well. Let's talk about the spell check. Now by default, it's obvious that if you're taking a paper-based test, you should be good with your spellings, or else you will be at the risk of losing marks. Now most of the people who use computer regularly, either for work or otherwise, would have gotten used to the habit of using auto spell check, right? Which automatically highlights any spelling errors and also suggests the correct ones. Well, in computer-based test, don't expect this to happen. You're pretty much on your own to type in the correct spellings. Also, it's my opinion that when we write, we tend to make fewer spell errors, whereas when we type something in a system, there are higher chances of committing the typo errors. So it's very important to be mindful of this fact and not commit any typo errors. That brings me to the next point of correction or editing. Now, in case of paper-based test, you can either opt for a pen or pencil to write your exam. If you're opting for pencil, then even if you make any mistakes, you can erase it and then rewrite your sentences. But trust me, you will be losing a certain amount of time doing this. Now, in case of pen, the only option you have if you do any mistake is to strike it out and then continue writing. As a result, your final answer might not look so great on the paper with so many strike marks. On the other hand, what makes computer-based test really cool is the fact that you can edit really easily. You can add something, delete something, rearrange your sentences or paragraphs. It all happens really quickly, and at the end of the day, you will have a clean and organized answer in front of you. Another important factor to consider is the word count. Now we all know how in writing tests you are supposed to write or type in a particular minimum number of words in each of your tasks. When it comes to paper-based tests, you are supposed to count the number of words manually. As a result, you will be losing a lot of time. Whereas in case of computer-based test, you will have a auto word counter. As a result, as you type your essay or letter, automatically the number of words would be counted, and you need not break your head over it. Trust me, I wrote my paper-based test using a pencil, and it took a lot of time for me to erase my answers, rewrite it, and towards the end to count all the words. And in case if I fell short of the words, then again to add more sentences so that I meet the requirement. Now let's talk about listening. Now, many people tell that when you opt for paper-based test, the listening test will be played on speakers. As a result, it's not so comfortable and there is chances of being disturbed by other people too. Well, let me tell you about my own experience. When I gave my paper-based listening test, as I told you, there were around 500 people who were taking the test along with me. But trust me, each one of us were given an individual headset and also a tuner which could be used to increase or decrease the volume as per our comfort. And also before the test started, they played a sample track and asked us to check that all the devices are working fine. So I think it really depends on the test center from where you will be taking your paper-based test. So a good thing would be to contact them beforehand and get this clarified. Well, when it comes to computer-based test, of course you will be given an individual headset, so you need not worry about that. Next big difference when you opt for a paper-based test is that during the listening test, you will be writing down all your answers on the question paper itself, and at the end of the 30 minutes, you get an additional 10 minutes time to transfer all your answers from the question paper to the answer paper. Now, of course, if you have missed out on hearing any of the answers, then you can't do anything about it. But these 10 minutes would be great for you to quickly review all your answers, do the spell checks and also grammar check. In case of computer-based test, at the end of 30 minutes, you might hardly get 2 minutes to quickly review your answers. This is because in computer-based test, you would be entering all your answers directly and you need not transfer them elsewhere. Now let's talk about reading. One thing which I would like to say is, in reading, we have many passages of different lengths, right? So when it comes to paper-based test, your passage could be on a different sheet and your questions could be on a different sheet. So it will require for you to flip back and forth in order to check the questions and answers. Whereas in case of computer-based test, both your passage and questions would be visible on the same monitor screen, and it kind of makes it easy. There are a couple of things more which I would like to talk about, which applies for both listening and reading. First being the highlight. When you opt for a paper-based test, since you have a physical pen or pencil and paper, it gets really easy for you to circle, highlight, cancel out or make some quick notes. This really helps you specifically in reading, in finding out the correct answer. But in case of the computer-based test, the only option you have is the highlight option to highlight the important things. As a result, you cannot actually do anything else other than this, like cancelling out an irrelevant option. Now what happens if you actually don't know the answer for a particular question and would like to come back and give it a try? In paper-based test, all you can do is make some special markings like a star or something and remember to come back and answer that question. However, in case of computer-based test, you have the option of flagging a question so that you can quickly come back and review the question to give your answer. As a result, you will not end up skipping questions because of a silly mistake. You remember in the writing section I told you about the typo errors. Well, we can neither deny the fact that when we are actually writing or transferring answers from one place to another place, we might end up making some unconscious errors. Maybe your answer could be A, but when you are transferring it to your answer paper, you can end up writing the option D. Now the advantage which you get when you opt a computer-based test is sometimes you can just click on the right answer, drag the correct answer or even copy-paste. So this will in a way reduce the unconscious errors that can happen when you are in a hurry. The final thing is speaking. Now, irrespective of whether you opt for paper-based or computer-based format, this is going to be same, wherein you would be speaking to a person face-to-face. One thing to note is, sometimes in case of computer-based test, there are chances for your speaking test to be on the same date as your reading, writing and listening test. However, in most of the cases, these three tests will be conducted on a different date and your speaking test will be on a different date. That's about it, guys. I have tried my best to include all the points which will help you in getting a better clarity and also to decide whether to opt for paper-based or computer-based test format. Let me know in the comment section below whether you found this useful, and also let me know if you have any more questions regarding this. To show your love and support to the channel, please like and share this video, and also if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. I guess that's it for the day, guys, and I hope to see you all soon in my next video. I wish for all of us to be blessed with abundant love, peace and happiness. Take care and do remember, life's all about the little things.